What's up, everybody? It's Byron here, and I'm about to give you another top speed tune. Sorry about the long, I wouldn't say wait exactly, but sorry for the long gap in between videos. I needed a much needed vacation, so I didn't have any videos pre-planned to post, or any ready in particular. So sorry about the long wait for this one, but I'll be getting back I'm back on schedule on posting every Monday or Thursday or Tuesday and Friday, depending on what day I started on. But this is right now. This is the last one for a specific uh, car that's been requested. This one was requested by uh, I just forgot your name. I think it's Rev. I think it's what I think it was, or Jav. This is gonna be the Shelby GT350. I worked on this for quite some time. Um, Honestly, I didn't put a whole lot of time because the I've been noticing a lot of the older vehicles are kind of hard to get a good and I would say sturdy suspension for, so that way it's not moving all over the place. Because a lot of the older vehicles, like I would say like 1980s and older, tend to move a lot on the track, especially with the wind and all that stuff. So it's kind of hard to get it to uh, do very well in the straights, mainly. I mean, the turns is not the big deal. It's mainly the straights. But going straight into the suspension setup, this is a 213 tune. The setup is pretty much the exact same how it is on most of my other tunes, except for you want your natural frequency or spring rate all the way up in the front, because, or at least not all the way up exactly, but you want it at least halfway, so that way the front end doesn't lift up. Because regardless on how you have it, if you have it the natural frequency all the way down, the nose will slowly lift up because of the fact that you're going against the wind a little bit, kind of, especially when the wind's put you know, from your back and pushing you forward. It's gonna still lift your nose up a little bit, and that'll actually decrease your speed. So you could try to have the frequency all the way up in the front. It's gonna kind of hinder your steering a slight bit, and it's gonna make it seem a little bit more stiff. So that's why I have it at halfway mark at 2.35. But other than that, as I said before, it's all the same. Cameras at 3.0 in the front, 1.5 in the rear, 30 on extension for front and rear, compressions at 40 front and rear. Anti-roll bars are always going to be up to you guys. I don't touch them no more. And the ride height is going to be all the way down to the ground, or as low as it can go, and no toe angle. Going over to the transmission, once you've bought the fully customizable racing transmission, you want to take your top speed wherever it's set at the current point, take it to 380, and then from the 380 I have it set here. You want to go into your gears and just take your final and bring it to 3.890 from where it is stock, which I believe it's like 4. I want to say it was like 4.3 or something like that, because like it's about middle. Um, Now, as I said before, this is a 213 tune, so it's not gonna be very fast, but you could possibly hit with a very good draft and possibly being pushed. You could possibly hit 260, if not 270, with being pushed and being in the draft. But by yourself, you're looking at about, like, with a really good setup, you could get like 215 to 220, which would push you up to 240 to maybe 250 with the draft, at least at max 260 with NOS and draft. But yeah, if you guys ever are having any issues with this, with the gears, don't try to match up the numbers for the gear ratio wise, like the 0.586. Don't try to match that in my fifth gear. Try to match the miles, or I won't say miles per hour, because it's all kilometers per hour for some reason on this. Match up the kilometers per hour peak on that specific gear, because that's what I mainly do. Like with how old the car is, you're looking at just a 5-gear setup. You could go 4-gear, but it's not going to give you the most you could get out of it, because with it being a muscle car, even with a high-end supercharger, you're going to be getting your best acceleration out of the low end on your last gear. You'll get a lot of acceleration up until the peak of 4th gear, but you're still gonna get that little bit of a push from your 5th gear. So with that, I'm gonna have to the track and show you guys where it hits it. It hits it quite far on the track. This is what I could get best for the wind. I don't try my best to try to get ideal wind all the time, but with wind like this, it's pretty good. 13.2 feet per second. That ain't too bad, honestly. But this is definitely a automatic friendly. As I said before, like as you guys can see here, it's going pretty fast up there. But with how the gear is, you could mess with 4th gear to get to go faster. But like, I don't know if you could, because you're pushing the car's limits because of the fact that it's not exactly aerodynamically friendly. As you can see from a front view, it's not exactly, friendly for aerodynamics wise. So I believe I'm pushing. I mean, I'm not saying this is a brick. I know this is it has a little bit of aerodynamics to it, but it's not as sleek as a lot of the newer cars, like the 2000 I would say 2004, I would say, and above are more aerodynamically friendly on this game, because like aerodynamics is like one of the major factors, because there's like, at this point there's like 3 major factors. You got the wind, you got the aerodynamics of the car, and then you have the suspension. The transmission at this point doesn't really mean a whole lot. It just gives you the extra pump that you need in order to get to the speed, but your suspension is what gives you the speed, because the way that your suspension is set up is the way you're going to get your top speed. Or even if you're doing, drag tunes, which I don't do, but I imagine these could be decently good, especially for suspension wise. It could be good for a drag transmission, because even with drag tunes, I imagine that a lot of people out there do work on the suspension a little bit, because if you have your nose up and your rear end down, you're going to get acceleration out of it for a little bit, but once you hit towards the higher end of, if you're doing a quarter mile or even a mile, really, in that mile, you're not going to be getting that much acceleration whatsoever once you hit that high speed. So this is going to hit 213 pretty quickly. I think it's just before the 2000 mark. I can't remember exactly, but it should be roughly around that mark. It does take some time once it hits about 212, but this ain't too bad for how old of a car it is. I know in the last video I posted was a Porsche, and granted, the Porsches are cool and all this stuff, but they are not, in my mind, they're not well known for top speed. There's your 213. As I just before, it was about halfway between the 1,000 and 2,000 meter mark. But yeah, there's not a whole lot I can really say for the rest of the video, honestly, because I don't know. trying to get back into giving you guys as much commentary as I can or anything like that. So this will be the end of the video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. Also subscribe for more videos. I post, as I said before, I post every Monday and Thursday. If not, it's Tuesday and Friday. Mix and match of the two. Also share if you guys could. Get these tunes out. Get everyone in the same speed group at least, top speed wise. And also if you have any questions or any suggestions for top speed tunes you guys want me to try for cars wise, put them down in the comments below. Right now, at the current point, I have 2, if not 3 cars in the lineup to go, because someone asked me to do the Vipers, so I'm going to do those. There's, I think, 3 Vipers right now at the current point right now in the game, so I'll be having those in the lineup after that. I'll be up for any other cars you guys want to give me. So other than that, I'll see you guys in the next episode.